The UFC sends him to the doctor. The doctor examines him and then talks to the UFC on the phone and says, "Where did you find this guy?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he goes, "He's amazing, right?" He goes, No, you don't understand." He goes, "I've been studying human beings. I've been working on people. I've been operating on people for 50 years. He goes, I've never seen a human like him."
Is Yoel Romero the single biggest genetic freak in the history of the sport of mixed martial arts? Well, the fact that he's still competing and still looks the way he does kinda settles it. This Cuban warrior lives and breathes fighting, and to be honest, we wouldn't be surprised if he was still knocking people out as he approaches 60 years old. So with that in mind, let's see what some of Yoel's fellow fighters think about him. This is UFC Fighters Explain how terrifying Yoel Romero is. Robert Whittaker knows a thing or two about just how much of a genetic freak Romero is.
Whatever Romero's rehydration plan was, I would like to get on that, because he looks massive from the skeleton I saw the day before and him missing, and it looked like he was going to die, to him hopping back in that octagon was like two different guys. And taking headshots, like I hit him a lot, and he was able to just walk through those shots. Like whatever he's hydrating on, I would like to know so that I can also hydrate on that, because it turns you superhuman just about. Because like when I was punching and kicking him, he felt like metal, like a dude made out of concrete. It was ridiculous. And I fought him a year ago, and he didn't feel like concrete. For him to make those changes physically and athletically in a year at the age of 40, like I'm leaving that down to like nothing.
Whittaker is kind of implying something here without saying it outright. He felt the difference in Romero's body and physicality between fights 1 and 2. He's not the first man to try and pin some pet allegations against Romero. Although, with that said, he does come from Cuba, which is a place where some of the most athletically gifted people in sports history have come from. Even with his suspicions, Whittaker still got the better of Romero over the 10 rounds they shared in the cage. What do you guys think? Was Yoel Romero juicing during his career? How about another former opponent, Tim Kennedy, who was on the receiving end of Romero's infamous stoolgate moment? He joined Joe Rogan to talk about the Cuban middleweight.
And now he's fighting for the title, so hopefully he represents Cuba well. Yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, he really is, right?
Yeah. Specimen.
Yeah, I mean, when, like, there's so much going on there. It's like there's the years of training in that crazy Cuba Olympic program. There's phenomenal genetics.
Yeah.
There's experience in competing. There's so much going on there with that guy.
I mean, layers and layers and layers of the highest level of competition, mixed in with a life that I think has been very complementary to a mindset of an athlete. He has pretty much been shaped most of his life to be a highest level athlete.
Yoel and his team orchestrated a truly bizarre piece of cheating in order to get Yoel an extra 30 or so seconds to recover after being gassed out and badly rocked at the end of the round. In a crazy turn of events, Romero used that time to recover just enough to put a huge barrage of strikes and finish Kennedy there and then. If you know, you know. Paulo Costa put on an all-out war with Romero when they met in a title eliminator bout, and he seems genuinely grateful to have gotten an opponent like Romero to throw down with him.
I was glad, grateful. It's crazy to think about that, because you're inside the war, getting punched and throwing punch and kicks, try to hurt the guy, and the guy is trying to hurt you as much he can, but at the same time he's grateful. I was, okay, I'm inside here.
And it was a fun fight, a tightly contested war between two 185-pound powerhouses who were totally unafraid to feel each other's power. In the end, Costa seemingly did enough to get the win, although many people were split down the middle on the actual scoring of the bout. With the W freshly on his record, Costa was the one who ended up getting the title shot. Although the less we say about his terrible performance against Israel Adesanya, the better. As it turns out, Chael Sonnen has a longer history with Romero than most, and he also has a pretty interesting theory about the Soldier of God's actual age.
But when Yoel was 19, when Yoel was on the national team for the country of Cuba for wrestling, okay, there was an American from right up the road who happens to be my idol, Les Duchess, and these two would match up. And Les is the baddest dude I've ever met. And he would go back and forth with this Cuban. a 19-year-old Cuban named Yoel Romero.
Most people would be drawn into saying that a guy in his mid-40s who looks like that is not actually as old as he says. Chael, on the other hand, has the opposite theory. Despite it being nearly 30 years ago, he supposedly remembers being younger than Yoel at that point in time, and yet now they're apparently the same age. Now, is this just some entertaining storytelling from Chael or not? We'll leave that one up to you, but who knows, maybe Romero is actually already on the far side of 50. Next up, we have a live reaction from the GOAT-level fighter turned streaming pro, Demetrious Johnson.
Oh, shit! Oh my god! Yoel Romero, when he's typically fighting, he likes that high guard to make sure he can protect himself. He's not really worried about the poor getting hit. The fact that he's still fighting is just crazy.
The fact that Romero is still competing and is still doing Romero-like things at his age is quite frankly insane. Even the great Demetrious Johnson knew when to retire, and that was rare. He had only lost to Adriano and Henry Cejudo during his prime. Two fighters he also has wins over at some other stage. To see the mighty Yoel still separating opponents from their consciousness all these years later is quite the achievement. You really got to admire the honesty of the former UFC welterweight and middleweight contender Darren Till.
A lot of people sort of talking about Yoel Romero possibly getting this.
That guy. Well, I don't want to ever fight him. He's a beast.
I was going to ask you. He's coming off a loss.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying you're now coming off a win. I mean, logically, don't you think it makes sense for you to fight?
Listen, not make sense anymore. We've just seen the two gangsters fight for the BMF belt. You know, I'm gutted the way it ended. You know, I wanted to see a 5-round war. It was a good fight while it lasted, but anything's possible. 3 losses. After I was coming off 2 and they put me in with Calvin, anything's possible. Anything's possible. If it's Yoel, if they wait for Costa, if it's someone else more deserving than myself, so be it. And then if it's me at the end of it, you know, I'm not gonna say no. You know what I mean? There's a few watches I want to buy, so it's a payday as well. So let's do it. But for now, I'm so thrilled just to be in this. You know, I just co-main evented 26 years of age at Madison Square Garden. You know, I'm doing things that I never thought would be possible.
Sure, he was mainly joking when he said he didn't want to fight Romero, and he did pretty quickly make it clear that he would fight anyone. But Till still probably knew that Yoel was one of those matchups in the division that he would do better to avoid. Even on the feet, if Romero got him cornered, he would be utterly outgunned. One of Till's biggest weaknesses, especially at 185, was his lack of power. Romero would have him comprehensively beat in that department. How do you think a fight between Darren Till and Yoel would have played out if it had happened at that point in time? We want exact round and method predictions. It might seem like an unlikely friendship, but Yoel and the icon Khabib Nurmagomedov go back way further than you might think.
Okay, Romero, I see you.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, wow, man. You see Sashid in Mahaska?
It's my friend. I see something.
Oh man. After the fight, I want one video for Sashid.
Okay. Now.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Sajid, my man. I want to see you again. Maybe next year I go to Mahaskala. I go with you and your family and your house. I want to talk to you. I love you, bro. I love you. I have a good time with you when wrestling. I was time with you, and the Mahaskal. I have good time. God bless you, my man. God bless you.
The idea of seeing a teenage Khabib being in total awe of this totally jacked Cuban Olympic wrestler only gets crazier when you realize that they eventually competed in the UFC during the exact same era. And then Khabib retired years before Romero even considered it. In fact, Yoel is still fighting at age 48, and he's not showing any signs of quitting anytime soon. Who knows, maybe the Soldier of God did eventually go back to Dagestan. That's certainly one practice room wrestling session that any MMA fan would pay good money to see. Maybe it would actually take a genetic freak like Romero to definitively get the better of Khabib, although we have heard rumors of him dominating middleweights in the past. And what better way to close the show than with a word from Yoel Romero himself, a passionate and inspirational speech about how to live your life.
Muhammad, the best defense in the heavyweight, the best move in the heavyweight. But Shorty man did it boxing. He beat him one time. Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible. You have two hands. Maybe everything is possible. Go. Go. And take it whatever you want to do.
There's something truly admirable and kinda terrifying about seeing the look in Romero's eyes as he tells that unsuspecting interviewer to go out there and achieve his dreams. That's the type of intensity that you and I probably won't ever understand. Romero has been doing this for a very, very long time, and his dedication to competition and success is, quite frankly, a bit scary. So don't take it from us. Listen to Yoel. Go out there and do whatever it is you want to do with your life. The fight game was a lot more fun when Romero was in his prime and knocking opponents out one by one, usually out of nowhere in the third round. And how do you think he would do against the current middleweight top 10 if he was in his absolute prime? Let us know in the comments below. Enjoy this video? Be sure to smash the sub button and stick around and support the channel by checking out some of our other uploads. Thanks for watching.